Welcome to the Abarca. I am here with my special guest, Endy. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Make sure you're speaking on the mic. So I understand that you just came back from vacation.
I did. I went to Jamaica for
Wow.
4 days.
How was that, man?
It was, yeah, man. They actually say that a lot over there. It was lots of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. How long were you there for?
4 days from Friday to Monday.
Nice. Wow.
The holiday that just
How was the
passed.
food there?
Not that great.
You know, I've gone there personally myself. I went there with a buddy of mine. He was like the worst travel partner ever.
Why?
He missed his flight. I was there my first night by myself. Mind you, I had like so much fun my first night by myself. And then when he was there, third, fourth, and fifth night, like he was just high 24/7. He would just fall asleep by 7 p.m. So I would literally have to like
Do
black
everything
out
by
by my
yourself?
phone. Yeah, by myself.
I felt like an alcoholic over there because the drinks, I would drink all day and I was fine.
Yeah. Wow. Jesus Christ. And you go on vacation again. Oh my God. This girl's worse than me. Jesus.
So much fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, what we are going to speak about again is businesses and how we got into them. So, Endy, before we get into business, what do you do for a living now?
I am currently a paralegal at an immigration law firm.
Wow. Big shot over here. And then your side business is?
It's called Endy's Collection. We sell real 14K gold jewelry.
I'm still waiting for my piece, by
Yeah.
the way.
Okay.
All right, so-
a collab coming soon, right?
Yeah. So Endy's Collection, how'd you come up with the name?
I actually started with a logo. I asked my cousin, which is in Tennessee. I call her my secretary. And between me, my mom, and my cousin and my sister, we all just started like throwing names out there. My mom wanted it to be Sandra because that's her name. I was like, but it's gonna be my face, so maybe Endy. And I feel like I've never met a lot of Endys, so I'm like, okay, that'll be something that's unique. I don't know. Just literally just throwing things out there. I Googled to see if there was anybody else, but Endy's Collection, there was just like one thing in Africa. So I was like, okay, I think this will work.
All right. So like, why jewelry? Like, how did you get into jewelry?
Okay, so fun fact.
Yeah.
It all started because my mom was like, I'm going to give you this amount of money, figure out what you're going to do with it. But you're not going to just sit here during the pandemic and do absolutely nothing. So I was like,
So,
okay.
so this was during the pandemic.
This was during the pandemic. We started January of last year.
Okay.
So my mom gave me money, and my grandfather's a jeweler. He's been a jeweler since he came from Honduras. And yeah, that was it, literally. Like, I was just like, we wear jewelry, 14K gold all the time. My friend does bathing suits. Another girl does clothing. My other friend does lashes. The other one does lipsticks. No one does jewelry. Why am I not doing jewelry? Like, I would be the friend. I will be the jeweler friend.
Right.
So then it just went, wow.
Now you did you always think about starting your business? Like, were you always like wanting to be a business owner when you were younger? Were you always an entrepreneur when you were younger? Like, when I was growing up, I was always, cutting hair, flipping sneakers for an extra buck. I was, trading pens and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and all that stuff when I was, in grade school. Like, were you just like, you know what, I kind of want to be a paralegal when I grow up, or do I want to be a small business owner? How did that start?
No, I've always wanted to be a lawyer. So
Okay.
that's still in the works. I do want to study and take my LSATs. It was just kind of because my mom pushed me to do it. And I'm actually really happy that she pushed me to do it. My mom is very much of a businesswoman. Like, anything that you speak to my mom about, it's business. Like, she'll be
Yeah.
like, you said hi to me, $5. So that's just how it worked.
I think I need to meet her. I need to speak about business, right?
$5.
All right. So, did you, with your mom pushing, you to kind of do the whole paralegal thing, did you said uncle or grandfather?
My grandfather.
Okay. So your grandfather, was he always a jeweler? Did he always want to become a jeweler? Did he always want to kind of like hand down, his like jewelry store down to his kids, down to his grandkids? Like, how did that?
So he came from Honduras. I think his dad was the one who taught him. And then his brother is, he does glasses. So they both like have their own thing. Like, if I need new glasses, I go to my grandfather's brother. But my grandfather worked here in the city. So
Okay.
it's called Diamond District. A couple years back, my grandfather had a stroke, so he stopped working there, and like literally his entire right side, he couldn't move it. So then he just stopped. But when he met my grandmother, that was kind of like his gift to her at all times. Like she always had like a new pair of earrings, a new pair of like whatever, bracelet, rings, whatever. So growing up, the only thing that like I didn't even put together that he was a jeweler. Like I didn't like realize like, hey, he literally works out of the little room right there and he can make me anything that I want. I would always just go to my grandma and be like, hey, like I'm gonna take my graduation pictures today, like can I borrow a ring? And I had like 3 necklaces on and my like earrings, I have like four piercings on each side. So I'm like, I need like really small ones, big ones, this. We're going out to like a sweet 16, a birthday, whatever. I would always like go steal jewelry from her.
She had all of them just there laid out.
So no, like not laid out, like it's like put away. Like she's like, if I ever die, you're like this, you know where it's at. I'm like, I got you, girl. I got you.
So you were touching base on, you know, your grandfather making jewelry from a small little room. Like how does he start it from scratch? Like how intricate is, like I know nothing about jewelry. Like I wear jewelry, but I don't know how it starts. Like does he go in the backyard and just start mining for gold? Like I don't know how.
No. So I feel like that's what makes it difficult about Endy's collection. Like it's very hard for me to be able to explain that, I guess, on Instagram, which is the only platform that I have at the moment. So essentially it just depends on what it is. So for example, like if you wanted a necklace and we were speaking about it, depends on the type of necklace. So the best way I can explain it is, let's say you go to Diamond District, right? Which is where we would purchase the gold because that's where he used to work from. So it's somewhere familiar and we know we can trust it. Think of yarn, right? Like you go and you're like, hey, I want it to be this long. Okay. Essentially, you would go and you would be like, okay, like this person wants an 18-inch necklace, right? You go, you do that. I have to buy the little, we'll call them clips, right? Where you hook your necklace. You also have to buy the lock where you like put the necklace. There's cheap ones, there's expensive ones. Like you have to know what you want and what's good material, and then he would put it together.
Do they have to be 14 karat? I'm assuming as well, like the locks and the clips and all that stuff.
We do 14 karat because of the my target audience, I guess, at the moment, we would say. There is 18 karat, 24 karat, but as you know, the higher it goes, the more expensive it is.
Right.
So yeah.
You got to cater to the demographics.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so just continue with that. So so you purchase the length of it. Let's say I say, you know, I wanted an 18-inch whatever, and then you got the locks, you got the clips. Do you just bring that from the diamond district?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you bring it to your grandfather's office, and then he just starts going to work.
Yeah, essentially.
Wow.
That's kind of how it works. And it's kind of weird. Like if you like go into the room, everything looks dirty. I don't know how to explain it. Like the gold comes out looking shiny, but his hands are literally black. Like they use like water that looks dirty. Like I don't know what it is. I can't tell you like, you know, full on details. Mm-hmm. Like they use like this como que tira aire, something like that blows smoke.
Okay.
And it like cleans it and like fire to like mold it together, things like that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So how old is he?
60 something.
Oh, okay. So has he taught you how to actually like be in there and make all that stuff?
No, my grandpa doesn't have that much patience for me.
No.
I could be kind of annoying. I'm like, hey, can you do this? But like, I need it by tomorrow. He's like, and he just does it. Like comes back. He's like, here you go. Like, get out.
Wow. Yeah. So if let's say my best friend Little Jimmy wants to purchase wants to purchase some gold, a gold chain, whatever, like where could they reach out to you? Like
right now we only have an Instagram page. It's Endy's collection. I do want to do a website for this year for the same thing, so it's a little bit easier for people to access us and for us to be able to sell more products.
Nice. And is it like pre-order, like they pay and then you order it, or like do they send you a picture? Like how does that work?
So it all depends. A lot of people either purchase from the things that we've already posted, or a lot of people also send me things that they've seen on Instagram. So like we all get ads, obviously, of things that we've liked and that relate to us. Right. I personally also get a lot of jewelry. Sometimes it's not real 14K gold. And I'm like, you know what? I want that in gold.
Like that's a good idea. And then from there you'll do 14 karat, 18 karat, etc.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. All right. So, I mean, all right. So your goal within this next year is, you know, doing the website, etc. Are you planning on continuing the paralegal stuff and then doing Endy's collection on the side? Like what's the goal here for For Endy, not Endy's collection, but for Endy.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I felt a little bit discouraged with going back to law school. Like, I just haven't been motivated.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? I'll pay a tutor so I
Now,
can.
why though? Why were you discouraged?
I've worked for a couple attorneys now, and I just feel like none of them are happy. Like, I don't want to be miserable in my job. Like, I love everything that has to do with law, but like, Endy's collection kind of makes me happy. So I'm like, should I just go get my master's in business or something, like, you know, so I can make this blow up and not even have a 9 to 5? I don't know. I don't know yet what to do.
All right, so it's a coin toss. So anyone out there who's actually just putting a hold on Endy's collection, anyone out there who's, you know, thinking about, you know, listening to their mom, or, you know, thinking about going to school but not sure whether it's going to bring them income or even bring them happiness, which is a huge thing that I'm trying to push here on this podcast and on my job. You know, my suggestion as a friend, my suggestion as a, you know, host is always follow, you know, whatever makes you happy. You know, when, you know, I remember when my grandmother and my, you know, my mother, my aunt, my sister, they all wanted me to push for physical therapy after I graduated college with an exercise science degree. And I thought about it, and even my clients were just kind of like, you know, I think you are so technical with your training, you would be phenomenal as a physical therapist. And I thought, shit, everybody's telling me left and right I should be a physical therapist. Why don't I do it? And I did it, and I was just like, I don't want this shit. You know, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I didn't like it that much to the point where I'm going to dedicate 3 years or 4 years into my life and then put myself into depth of 6 figures, etc. Like it was like, why? And then I was just kind of like, you know what? I was listening to my favorite guy, Gary Vee, and he was speaking about, you know, always trying to pursue the goal of happiness. And I literally had to park my car, and I was just like, wow, I think I'm going to start my business. Because I love personal training. I love the engagement. I love my clients. I love, you know, seeing people reach their goals. I love, you know, when they tell me they couldn't do it without me, as selfish as that sounds. Like, I love just helping people and helping them reach their physical goal or peak or whatever you want to call it, you know, just for their confidence. So, you know, happiness is a very, very major thing, especially if you're trying to look for, you know, a career down the line that is long-term. You know what I mean? Like, if Endy's collection is actually going to make you happy in the next 10, 15, 20 years, you know, I'm not trying to steer you away from the other route, but like, it's kind of like, you just want to be happy, you know?
I feel like it sounds cliche, but money really doesn't make you happy. Like, like you can get all the money in the world. Like, even if a lawyer makes more money than I would make in Endy's collection, is like, is it gonna be like, am I gonna be happy? You know? Yeah. And I was explaining earlier that before I used to work at a real estate law firm, and I just feel like I wasn't really making a difference. Like, you would come and you're like, hey, I want to buy this property, and then 2 weeks later you were selling it again, and I'm like, I'm doing the same paperwork over and over. Like, it's literally making absolutely no difference other than in their pockets.
Wait, so all right, so is that for people that are like, they're trying to flip houses? Is that what they were doing?
It was just in general, people who were like first-time homeowners, buying houses, people who have like a bunch of properties. It was just whoever needs just an attorney to like represent them.
And you were just doing the same thing.
And it was just the same thing over and over. And at least now with like the immigration stuff, you feel like you're making a change. I feel like I'm making a change, or I'm making a difference in their life. And I get to listen to their stories, and I'm like, wow, like, this is what they go through. Like, this is real life. Like, sometimes we take things for granted. So that's what kind of pushes me to like, you know what? Like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Even if I do Endy's collection.
What's the craziest story? You know, you don't have to mention any names, but like, what's the craziest story you've heard of in like the paralegal environment?
I don't really know if I'm allowed to really say all of this, because all these people are still like
still out there.
They're still
even
in trial.
Even if you don't say any names?
Even if I don't say names, but for sure, like, even the first week I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have the heart for this. Like, it was just so sad. Like, it was just like siblings, and like one sibling gets to stay, the other doesn't, and I'm like, if this were me and my siblings, hell no.
That's
hell
crazy.
no. We're all leaving or we're all staying, but there's absolutely no way you guys are separating.
Isn't it like an emotional roller coaster? Like, are you crying like every other day at work?
Only with certain people. Like, I feel like certain people, like,
You made that connection?
yeah, like, there's just certain clients where like it clicks, or they actually like have a conversation with me, because my attorney doesn't speak any Spanish, so I'm the translator. So I'm kind of in the middle. Like some of them are just like directly speaking to them, and I'm like,
so do you speak Spanish or like Spanglish?
a little bit of both.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes they only speak to him directly, so it's just like, okay, well, this is awkward. I'm gonna just shut up and quite literally. And then there's other people who are like, oh, like, how was your day today? And I'm like, oh, muy bien, y usted? Like, you know, you just continue it. But
And then you just get to know the client or the customer, and
some of them come more frequently. Like the closer their court date is, like the more frequent I see them. So I'm like, oh my God, you said you were gonna go get food yesterday. Like, did you go cook? Like, what did you do? And then like, you know, just to make it easier, because they're nervous, we're nervous, everybody's nervous. Like,
Now, you said you were Spanish. Where are you from?
my mom is from Honduras and my dad is Dominican.
Wow, Honduras. What's the like the main plate there?
Baleadas,
Okay.
frijoles, tortillas, queso,
And
crema,
what about DR?
mangú, los tres golpes.
Oh.
I know you eat mangú con los tres golpes.
I have no idea what you.
You don't know what it is?
I've had mangú.
What's los tres
It's pretty
golpes?
good. I never.
You've
Do they
never
hit
heard
you?
of it?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Explain it to me.
Queso frito, huevo, salami, and cebolla on top of your mangú.
Oh, I've seen it. I might have ordered it back in the day when I used to club back in, Washington Heights and stuff.
Yeah, you should definitely try it.
And
You haven't
cheese.
already.
What type of cheese though?
Queso de freír. It's literally queso. It's like queso blanco, white
Yeah.
cheese. White cheese.
I'm not a cheese person.
Me neither, but that's one of the only cheeses I do like.
Yeah, I know.
And I like it without frying. Oh my God, 10 out of 10.
like cold.
Yes.
Just open
Just
up the
cut.
fridge, just cut.
Oh, so good.
That's fucking disgusting. I know everybody's mouth is like in at the floor right now. Like, yeah, I don't do cheese unless like it's on my pizza. I don't like if it's mozzarella, parm, provolone. That's it. Like I don't like the yellow cheese. I don't like the stank cheese.
Yeah,
with,
I don't-
with the blue cheese.
Where they be like, you have to be an adult and eat cheese
Or the
and
goat
wine.
cheese.
No,
Like I've gone to like little like wine parties where they have, you know what I'm talking about, like the little crackers and like the prosciutto and the cheese and the grapes, and I'm over there.
I'm just eating the grapes.
Yeah. I'm the only Hispanic. I'm just like, let me just get some grapes and shit.
Yeah, no, I don't like those either.
Yeah,
I
can't
do
do
like monster cheese. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Monster cheese.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
You have to try
What
it.
color is it?
White and yellow.
Yeah. So like my first like credential is like, all right, is it white or any other color? Like any other color, it most of the time it stinks.
No,
At
it
least
doesn't
for me.
stink. It doesn't stink.
No. Okay.
No. It's like white, but then the edges, it has like a little bit of yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Try
I can't
it.
do jack cheddar either. That's white and yellow don't do good for me.
You should try it.
All right. So, since I am also answering questions from Question Mondays on my podcast, I did want to mention some questions that I received this past Monday. Endy, maybe you could help me out as well. One of my questions were, what made me want to be a PT or a personal trainer? So when I had no idea what to major on in college, as I mentioned before, I was going through depression. I was heartbroken through high school, and my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer, and I was driving him through chemotherapy and all that stuff. And I was really trying to just get my life together just because of a heartbreak and seeing the person who raised me back in Peru, almost pass away. Like, it was pretty tough. I used the gym or working out as an outlet to release stress and anger. So I just fell in love with the release of stress, to be honest. And one thing led to another, like I was just at the gym, it sounds douchey, but I was just pumping iron. And I was like, I fucking love this feeling. I felt like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know what I'm saying? So I started doing some research. I was, doing the basic bro stuff, going on bodybuilding.com, reading some articles and things like that. And I just fell in love with just learning those things. So when I went to college, I just kind of, I decided why not major in exercise science. And I became a personal trainer. And it was honestly by mistake, Well, with that question, what made you want to become a paralegal? Like, did you just wake up one day and you're just like, I want to help?
It's literally the only thing that interests me in school. Like, I genuinely, I was like, if I were to pick any other major, literally nothing interests me.
So-
Nothing sounds fun. Like, everything criminal is like, oh my God, Like, he's a murderer? Like, it's so exciting. I love watching all of these type of shows, like Criminal Minds, How to Get Away with Murder. Like, that's the only type of stuff that I like. Makes no sense.
So in school, you were just trash at everything except
that. Math, trash.
Really?
Writing, trash. Science,
I'm
absolutely
half
not.
Peruvian. Us Peruvians, we're actually pretty good with math. Like, we have those genes where, we just calculate. We're like Jimmy Neutron. Like, you give us numbers, we start calculating shit, and we're just like, oh, shit, like,
No,
here's the
not
number.
I.
There you go.
Not I.
No. Dominicans or Hondurans, they're not really.
No creo.
No. Well, okay. All right. Next question. Best training story. So as I mentioned in my Instagram, I did explain a story about having one of my ex-clients fart in my face, unfortunately. So one of my clients actually wanted some details. I don't know why, but here are the details. So I was actually having a client back in LA Fitness. She wanted to do pull-ups, and I attached the long band onto a pull-up bar. And, I did the typical, all right, put your foot on the band, put your hands on the bar and start pulling up. So me as a trainer, I'm, safety's first. So I have to be behind her while she's pulling herself up, and she's like, trying to get up. And as I'm like spotting her after like her 8th or 9th, rep, she's struggling, and I guess she's struggling. I have my hands on her, lower back, and I'm trying to, push her up. I'm like, you got this, girl. And next thing you know, I just hear a fart. Like, it was like one of those, it wasn't like loud, but it was like one of those like, and like, it was silent enough for the room, but it wasn't silent enough for like
your face.
within like 6 inches, and like, there was mirrors right in front of her, so my hand is right here, and I noticed with my peripherals, I noticed her face like literally turn red, look into my eyes, and she like smirked, and I'm like, fuck me, like I don't want to get pink eye, and I'm like. Again, like safety's first and professionalism is first. So I'm over there holding my breath now, helping her finish her last set. And I'm over here like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, you got your break, 2 minutes. And I just went to take a lap. It was pretty bad.
What did she say after? Did she say anything?
Nothing. Me say local. Like, I was just like, all right, girl, like, how was that? Did you feel it in your back? Yeah, low-key, I wanted to ask, like, did you feel it anywhere else? But, that was just unprofessional. But yeah, that was probably my best training story. And then another training story would probably be like, I remember I had one client, a great guy. It was a few years ago. Did you know I had a streak? I've been training for almost 10 years. I had a streak of none of my clients ever throwing up ever.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. And then it was broke like 2 years ago, maybe so I had an 8-year streak. So this, my guy, he comes in, is our first ever workout. I'm putting through a warm up, and I'm noticing he's like kind of giving me like an attitude. Like, he's like, oh, this is stupid, blah, 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 this and that. He's like, and I get it with a guy, guys have egos, and, all they want to do is just get to like, the good shit, you know what I'm saying? He's just trying to pump some iron or flip some tires, like do some manly shit, but I'm having him just play with the rubber bands. Like, I get it looks stupid, but it actually works, sir. Like we're best friends now, so I could play with him. But yeah, so mind you, he kept giving me an attitude, rolling his eyes. By the second set, he's like, Brian, like, this is stupid, like, can we get to the real shit? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm like, little Jimmy, like, you can't just jump into like the main stuff. You need to kind of like just warm up,
work your way up.
Exactly, and he was like, nah, man, I'm ready. Like, let's play with some ropes, let's play with the sled, and da da da. I'm like, all right, little Jimmy, like, no problem. So I was like, all right, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do that. Let's do 20 seconds each. We'll see how your conditioning is, etc. Mind you, this is the first session. My boy goes to the second exercise. Within 5 seconds, he just drops, the battle ropes, and he's just kind of like, I gotta go to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom, and I just sit down there, and I'm looking at my like watch and my phone, and I'm just kind of like, yo, it's been like half hour. So we're like a half hour in. I'm just like, I'm just like, you're good.
You alive?
You know? So I'm just like, he's like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. He comes out, and it was like the most humbling moment for him, and I'm so appreciative that he realized it. First thing he said, he was like, Brian, I'm so sorry I ever doubted you. I know you know what you're doing. You know, whatever you say goes. Like, if you want me to just, you know, stand in the corner on my head with no hands, like, no problem. Like, I know I know I could trust you, and I know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I love those clients. I love those type of clients where, you know, they'll just bend over backwards. Like, if I tell them, listen, you're going to lose 30 pounds by just doing jumping jacks, like something ridiculous against the wall, blah, 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 blah. Like, they'll be like, all right, which corner do you want me to do it?
And they have to trust you.
Yeah. And, you know, they're so coachable, and it's great. So
Wait,
on that note,
I have a question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you give him hard workouts on purpose so he like could want to throw up and be like, you know, you're right?
No, like not at all. Like, for example, it was kind of like I wanted him to play with like the cool toys, because there's obviously exercises that like attract attention. You know, I've been doing this for many years, so like I know what people want to play with. I know what people hate. I know what people like but work, etc.
And like what we see on social media, like, I want to do that.
Exactly. So like, you know, you're scrolling through social media and you see little Becky is like fucking doing X, Y, and Z, and you know, and Rebecca in my gym is like, I want to do what little Becky's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, all right, let's do it. So I make her do it, learn from it, go through, you know, the steps, and then if she likes it, great, I'll implement it, you know, if we have time, and if not, you know, it is what it is.
And sometimes in videos, everything looks super easy.
It is.
But then when you're doing it, you're like, like dying.
Yeah. Like, do you work out?
Not as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I used to work out 4 times a week.
Wow. Look at you.
I also had a trainer. So that's why I'm saying that people have to like trust you. Because I trusted my trainer. I loved her so much.
Oh, yeah?
She was like my friend. So like whatever she said, I would be like, I hate you, but I'll do it.
So you would do a mega sigh, and then you roll your eyes, and then you will do it?
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, be like, bye, love you.
So would you do that? So let me ask you this. Did you would you be like that? Were you like that in the beginning of your relationship with that trainer?
No.
Or were you like that once you established a relationship, you became friends?
Established in a relationship with her.
Right.
Because I'd be like, you know that I hate the treadmill. Like, why are you making, you can't make me do anything else. She's like, no, not today.
It becomes a negotiation process.
Yeah, I'd be like, come on, please.
Yeah.
Like, I promise. Like, I won't eat anything bad this week. I won't drink. Like, just make me do
and he's like blacking out and...
I'm an angel. Please.
All right. So how was your attitude in the first, like, let's say month with the trainer? Because I'm interested in this, because I love the psychology of training. Like, people show their true colors. I was actually having this conversation with my client today. They show their true colors, you know, after like, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. Like everything's like great. They come in with a smile, you know, even if they hate it, they're like, okay, no problem. And then, you know, 3 months in, they're like, you know what, fuck you, Brian. But then, you know, they thank me after, you know, they lose weight. But
for me, it was different because I didn't start the personal trainer by myself. I have a group of friends, and we all kind of decided, hey, let's all work out together. Like, we'll push each other. So we went, and I never had anything against the gym. I just didn't have any motivation to go to the gym. So that's why I became close to my trainer, because she made me actually like working out.
Wow.
Like, you know, like I was just like, you know what, like this isn't half as bad. Like, you know, like I'm like, all right, it hurts, but I know in a couple, like once I'm done, it's not going to hurt. I know once I have abs, it'll be worth it. I know once my butt gets bigger, it'll be worth it. So,
wow.
Yeah, like I would go in and then just like, how was your day? And we talk about our day. I'm like, okay, this isn't half bad. Or like she'll make me do something, and then during the break, I'll be like, oh, okay, like just funny story, blah, 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 blah. And then we became friends.
Right, I get it. And then like 3 months later, you guys gossip, and you're like, you know what little Jimmy did? That motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure. There was days, well, she had a gym, and then she moved to a new location, which was close to my job. But then she started implementing like specific time frames for people, because before it was like open gym kind of. So I would literally just wait, so I wouldn't be the only person working out. But then there was days where I would literally go in there and be like, I drove to the gym. That should be enough. Like, I really don't feel like working out today. And there was nobody there, so we'd like just sit and talk for an hour. And then when people come in, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go change now. I'm gonna go work out. And I would do my workout and then just go home. Wow,
that's crazy. All right. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the episode. Endy, like, let's say in the next 2 to 5 years for Endy's collection, like where do you see Endy's collection being or
Going?
becoming?
I feel like this is like a like you roll the dice kind of thing. Like I told you, I started it for shits and giggles. Like my mom was like, here, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do a website because that's investing more than what I have. I'm gonna just do an Instagram. Let's see if people follow. Let's see if people actually like what we're gonna post. And I've gotten a lot of
Feedback.
more feedback than I like what I expected. Or like there's just random people. Like one of my favorite clients, she's like, I was at the nail salon and somebody was like wearing it, and I asked her where it's from, and she was like, here. I till this day don't know which one of my friends was wearing Endy's collection and like put her on, but like I love her, and I'm like, this is so nice. So I don't know, maybe in a couple years, like I'm gonna have my own podcast, or I'm gonna have like my own website, or I'm selling worldwide. Like I really just don't know. Hopefully so, but it can either go really well or really bad. Hopefully, we're wishing for the best.
I love that. And just an FYI, guys, keyword she said was Instagram, aka social media. So the best route to kind of get publicity, get feedback is social media. And main thing is word of mouth. Like, it sounds so stupid. It sounds so like 80s, 90s, 70s. But like, if Rebecca gets something from Endy's collection, she's showing it off to her friends, and then next thing you know, someone else likes it. Like, it's just word of mouth. Same thing with my clients. When my clients lose 30 pounds, is ready for her wedding, everything's great, and then her neighbor ends up saying, hey, like, you look amazing. Like, it's word of mouth. Like, honestly, like, a lot of people still communicate verbally. It's not only social media.
I feel like social media also makes it harder for you or I or whoever has a business, because it's like, how can I trust it? Like, how do I know if it's real or fake? Like, for example, like, let's say somebody buys something off of me and it turns out to be bad, or they hate it, or like whatever. Like, reviews are like the first thing people see, right? So like, you will only post, well, no, I guess we could be honest and post like things that don't necessarily work out the way we want it to, because we want it to be more transparent and more realistic.
Right.
But let's be real, like, a lot of people don't. And I feel like with me, it's kind of difficult too, because I sell real gold. So it's just like, okay, like, you see the same necklace and it's $20, and then you see mine and it's $200, and they're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, you're a small business. But it's just like, no, like, you have to understand that there's a process to it. It's real gold. It's an investment. It's a lifetime. Like, and that's what's been difficult. Like, the word of mouth is just like, oh, I like your bracelet. Where'd you get it from? And you tell me, and you're like, oh, how long have you had it? And like, you are the good review. Do you understand? Like, if they just see it on social media, they're gonna be like, all right, well, it's $500. Well, I don't want it. Like, how do I trust it? How do I know if it breaks, she's gonna fix it and all this extra stuff?
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, but playing devil's advocate, then it's the social media's manager or the owner of the page to kind of just put it out there as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what it is. If the person is kind of posting things, only accomplishments and not the failures, or it's the person's job to kind of go into detail and make a description about it, and make sure they go into detail with everything that they do or they do not do, or they implement or they build. You know what I'm saying? So,
but do you trust everything you see on social media? There's a lot of scams going on.
Yeah, but like, that's, just for argument's sake, just going the other way. I've had clients of friends, they stalk me for like 6 months, and then they're honest with me, and they're like, hey, like, I've been purposely on your page for 6 months straight. Yeah, did they waste 6 months? Yes, but the point is just to start. You know what I mean? They stalked me for 6 months, and then it's just kind of like, all right, now I understand it's a process. Now I understand, I need to wait, and by waiting, I've been seeing a lot of accomplishments by my friends and my other friends and my other friends and my aunt. And then it's like, I'm ready to start. And then whatever price it is, here's the money, change my body. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Because
they know that there's going to be a difference. And I feel like a lot of people also are like, yeah, I've been going to the gym every freaking day and there's no difference. And then it's just like, once you eat like shitty for 2 weeks and you're fat as hell, like, make it make sense, please.
I mean, there's different aspects of personal training. Like, people don't hire a personal trainer just to learn how to work out. Like, you could eat, like, if I asked you, hey, how are you going to lose weight? You probably already know: exercise and diet.
Yeah.
But are you going to implement it? I don't know. So it just depends on, do you want accountability? Do you want, structure? Do you want someone to teach you like, it gets very dynamic with the information that you're trying to receive.
Yeah, when I started my trainer too, I was like, I'm not overweight, but like, literally go up the stairs and I can't breathe. Like, I'm tired. Like, I just want to feel healthy. Like, like,
right, you're not
enjoy
trying to
working
have some
out.
asthma when you're in the club.
Exactly. And then be
Perreo.
yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's finish off. It's tradition here with all my guests to finish off with some shots to toast for your business.
Thanks.
So based on what I have here, I have some Glass Azul, I have some Henny, I have some Don Julio. What would you like?
Whatever your heart desires, even though I already know what you're gonna choose.
Oh, we doing Henny.
Yep, of course.
All right, so I know you're gonna have to do a little bit of traveling, so we're only gonna do a chin.
Chin.
All right, so
Thanks.
Endy, cheers. By the way, we're using my Chelsea glasses. I'm a Chelsea fan. But cheers to your business. Cheers to your mission. Cheers to the grandfather that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
That you have. I wish you the best of success.
Thank you.
And I hope to have you back to the podcast
Hopefully.
soon.
And that I have more followers and more people and my own website and all of it, you know?
Yeah. So, all right. Before we cheers.
Yeah.
Anything you want to tell your fans, your audience, your followers, where to follow you, etc.
Follow us on Instagram. It's my only platform at the moment. It's at Endy's Collection. If and when I do the website, all of the information would be there. If you want to place an order, DM me. If you have any questions, DM me. I am super friendly. I'm not going to bite. That's it.
Endy's amazing.
Thanks.
I've known her for a while. All right. Cheers.
Wait, and cheers to your podcast. To many more people.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Guys, that's a wrap. Love you all. The Abarca out.